Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Arthur Chen, CFO of Futu. Arthur, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me, Jill.
We've seen an emergence of young traders in the retail sector. How has that impacted Futu's business?
Sure. I just want to share some, colors in terms of our user profile. We have relatively higher proportions of young investors. For instance, on average, our clients is at age of 35 years old, and this number has been consistently unchanged in the past 3 years, despite that the number of our clients has already increased 6 times during the same period. And secondly, what we observe is that more and more female investors join this, market access. For instance, for all the Generation Y and the Generation Z, the users we have, 30% and the 25% respectively are contributed by the female investors. And we are very excited to see this number has consistently increasing. It seems that, more and more financial independent female investors just participate in the markets and have, started their investment journeys. And thirdly is very interesting, regardless of Generation Y and the Generation Z, regardless they stayed in Hong Kong, in China, or in the US, it seems that a lot of their trading patterns are quite similar. For instance, a lot of stocks they would like to trade as more, skewed to the technology, new economy, these, e-commerce, etc. I think this also has reflected the global economics, transformations from more these capital-driven business model to more technological-driven business model down the road.
Arthur, how does Futu attract the young generation of investors? What is Futu's competitive advantage?
I think, at the end of the day, it is purely just a user experience. So what we just are focusing on is the product itself, how we can provide a very wide offering to cater to the investors' needs, how to make the user experience more, the intuitive and the convenience to understand these, very complicated financial jargons. And also, we do not want to just achieve to be a purely trading instruments app. What we want to achieve is to build up ecosystems to connect different stakeholders of the investment community. For example, on the corporate side, actually we have engaged a lot of listed companies. Now over 500 listed companies have already opened their enterprise accounts in Futu apps, and over 100 companies have already live streamed their earning calls through our apps as well, so that they can actively communicate to their existing investors and, more importantly, their potential investors as well. I think from the investment perspective, all of our investors can be, largely grouped into 2 parts. Number one is these, technical traders, which they are very like on our, for instance, level 2 real-time data, which provided by the Nasdaq, by the way. And also a lot of technical indicators and the drawing tools, which can assist them to identify the potential investment opportunities during their investment thinkings. And the number 2 is for these, fundamental investors, which we provide a lot of, financial data, in-depth research, and also some, deep analysis on these companies' business model, history, etc., which can help them to make their investment decision as well. Therefore, I think all these elements and all these functionalities create this very unique ecosystem to connect different parties.
Tell us more about your security infrastructure. How do you assure your clients' money is protected?
Of course, this is a very important question. I think number one, Futu now is regulated by Hong Kong SFC, Singapore MAS, and also SEC in the United States. We are fully broker-dealer licensed in these territories. Therefore, compliance and risk management is the most important things we bear in our mind. For instance, all of our clients' assets, particularly their monies, have been in segregated custodian banks, which according to the regulations, and also in terms of data security and their personal informations. We have a very strong technological team. We have now over 800 employees working on the technology side. Among them, around 100 persons are working on the data privacy and the system securities. What we are very proud of is that we develop a very proprietary core data security systems, which maintain a very high standards of infrastructure requirement and the data privacy, which we have already applied this system to all of our clients in China and also in Singapore, United States as well.
Arthur, you mentioned the partnership with Nasdaq earlier. How do you find the collaboration with Nasdaq?
Well, I think we share a very special relationship with Nasdaq. First of all, we are our self company is listing Nasdaq in 2019. As the company CFO, I co-work with my colleagues responsible for the investment relationship. We actually receive the email from your colleagues every day. We talk with your colleagues every month. They provide a lot of insight in terms of our shareholding structure changes. The trading patterns reflect to us. So we are very satisfied with the service by Nasdaq. Besides that, we also do a lot of collaborations with Nasdaq. In particular, I think the Nasdaq provide a lot of useful data information to our users. For example, a lot of our users trading in the US stocks, so they care very much about short selling interest, short selling volumes for each stock they are interested in. I know that Nasdaq have first-hand data and also update these data on a regular basis, which I think is very useful tools to assist our investors' investing decisions.
And finally, as we look forward, what's the aspiration of Futu?
Well, I think number one is continue to replicate our success in Hong Kong to other territories. Definitely, Singapore and the US markets are two primary markets we are looking for nowadays. We have already launched our international versions of Futu, which is called the Mumus, in Singapore and in the United States this year. So far, I think the progress in these two markets are very promising. Since the launch of our products in Singapore in March, we have already over 100K paying clients over there. And the momentum is continue to grow very fast in Singapore and in the United States. And the second one, I think, is we strive to gradually transfer our business model from a purely trading platforms to a more asset-driven business models. Therefore, we launched a lot of mutual fund distribution, wealth management products 1 year ago. So far, the AUM of these wealth management products already accounts for 4% of our total client assets, and I do expect this number will continue to grow in the next couple of years. With more contribution from the wealth management, our business model will become more visible in terms of our operating income and operating earning, which I think will be benefit to all of our shareholders as well.
All right, Arthur, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.